Fatty fat face.
Is this thing on?
She's a cunt.
That audio
Oops,
came
tag. Good.
That came through.
Yes.
Did you
yes,
hear
I
it,
know.
Steve?
Yeah, of course we did.
Honey, it's called you hit the unmute button and you can talk during anything.
Yeah, Jeffrey's a loudmouth button, it's called. Hi, everyone. Welcome to UCR Live. My name is Steve, and I have a lovely group of people here with me. Some of them have foul mouths, but that's okay. It takes all different kinds to make up the world that is uncensored radio. Wow, that was very deep of me. Someone who we still haven't scared off yet is Christina. She's back again.
I am back.
Hey, how are you, lovely?
Doing great. Just another shitty week in the book.
Oh God,
Just
no! What's
day
happened?
in paradise, you know.
Any swearing on the Lord's Day?
Yeah.
Oh, much swearing. I actually made sauce on Sunday and meatballs for the first time in like
meatballs.
forever. It's like, and I gotta say, it came out really good. But my meatballs needed another egg. But I'm this lazy that like I didn't go in the fridge to get another egg, like because I was using the last egg in the container, and I just didn't want to go open the fridge and get another egg out. I mean, they were fine. It's just
They didn't fall apart?
No, they did not.
Oh God!
Not like
back
that.
to meat
No.
talk.
I love how this is the cooking show now.
Listen,
Yeah.
fuck off. I got another Italian. So every goddamn the beginning of the show now, we're gonna talk about meatballs.
You gotta know the meatballs are okay.
It's gonna be like a little Jersey Shore in the beginning. Fuck
But
off.
like, I have like a galley kitchen. Like where I was working, my fridge is like next to me. So like, I just had to go like this and open the fridge, and I didn't even want to do that. It was just my hand was already in the meat. So I'm like, I'm not doing this. So,
Oh, well, yeah. I actually finally ordered gloves because I really hate doing meatloaf, meatballs.
Yeah.
I did make meatballs for years, and everybody would beg me, and I'm like, nah, I ain't doing it. I don't like touching meat. Then I finally, I'm like, why don't I just order some damn gloves? Because I had to cut up some chicken, and I have like meat cutting scissors, but I'm like, I still have to touch the. I ordered the gloves. Game changer.
One last thing about meatballs, my father has this. We have a family.
One last thing.
We have a family recipe that's been going on for generations, and every holiday, only on the holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, my dad makes these meatballs, and they're oval shaped, and it's my grandfather's recipe. It's like the whole thing, and you don't eat them with sauce. It's like you eat them fresh out of the pan, and that's it. Like, and he makes over.
They're called rissoles here in Australia. Rissoles.
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 There's some other like pepino or something like that in Italian. I don't know the word, but it was just that's my only thing about. We have a family tradition about meatballs. I can actually like air pack them tight and send them to you guys.
Do you ever like soak the bread in milk and use that instead of breadcrumbs? I have a lot of people that are doing that now.
He uses Italian bread, and he like puts it in the oven to bake it and to make that the breadcrumb.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's doing the homemade. All right, I'm with it.
All right, Vera, how's your meat going this week?
I don't know. It's been a rough week. I've been back to work since the post-COVID scare. Let's see. I went to see Mary Chapin Carpenter last night. I know that means nothing to you youngsters, but it was a good time.
I know who she is.
What
Does
else?
she have tough meat?
No, she's very sweet.
Is she still chaping though? She had some ointment for that.
No, we lost Vera. You just done Vera in.
Vera's just chaping dried out.
Sorry.
Maybe she's looking for Anne.
No, Chapin is her father's name. He was Chapin Carpenter. So she's Mary after her mother, and Chapin.
He's a very hard-working carpenter because he's chaping all the time. I won't let it go. It's my joke.
I know. Don't bother.
It's my joke for the day. Speaking of a joke for every day, how are you, Luke?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I was so glad earlier that we were all talking about what we're cooking lately because that's so exciting for viewers to hear. I'm cooking tofu like every second day, and it's not because I'm a vegetarian, so don't think I'm weird. I'm just fat and I want to lose some weight. So I've been
It's
doing
not because I'm a vegetarian. I'm just vain.
Yes. My mental illness is on another area, you know? So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I guess the
and
same
it's
place
been
with
really
those
great,
lentils.
but I've been putting a lot of soy sauce into it because, you know, tofu has no fucking taste. So you're
So
throwing
you're
in
gonna go
chili,
cholesterol
shallots,
down the drain with this.
So
No, I woke up yesterday and I was like, do I have diabetes? I'm like, no. I just ate a lot of salt.
Oh,
You salty bitch.
Speaking
I've
of
never
people
had
eating too much
tofu.
salt, how are you, Jeffrey?
I was gonna say salty bitch, but you know, either way.
Oh, I think
How
mine
you
was
doing?
meaner.
Hi there.
Well, it's been a long day. I was up super early and we stayed up a little late last night watching The Sandlot. And Gabe was just absolutely fucking rotted
work.
all day. He just was like on one, wasn't having it. I was making them chocolate chip cookies. He's like, I don't like those. I don't like chocolate. I'm like,
did you
"Fine,
look
don't
at him
have
and
any."
say, "You're killing me, Smalls"?
No, I'm like, don't have any. Fine, don't eat them. So then they came out and he's like, I want those. I want a cookie. I'm like, you don't like chocolate, remember?
You're killing me,
Ah!
Smalls.
So that was fun. So I put him to bed listening to Theo James. Stephen and I were
So we are going to
yeah.
talk about that. Jeffrey
Yeah.
and I have actually been hanging out before the show digitally
Oh.
because we have
How
been
gay.
listening to
Because we're
been
besties.
listening to a friend of ours. Mr. Theo James has a new single that is out today. Woo! Called Kickback. So I managed this week to actually sit down with Theo and have a little bit of a chat. So it's coming up next week. Here, have a quick look. In need of a little music therapy? Singer-songwriter Theo James joins us to talk about winning Canadian Idol, finding your own voice and identity in the music industry, how his journey through sobriety brought clarity and creativity, and the importance of finding your tribe, how streaming and social media affects artists these days. So, kick back with us and enjoy a candid and funny chat with Theo James, coming up on Uncensored Radio. So Theo is an absolute sweetheart. We had a really good chat about we had a really good chat about all things music and therapy and, you know, surviving mainstream success and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're into music, check out, that will be dropping next Tuesday American time, next Wednesday Australian time. So yeah, very lovely guy. Best of luck with the single today. It's out. It's there. If you like a little bit of a groove, get it. Yeah.
But we should talk a little bit about like that mainstream success too, because it's so fleeting, even for big stars. So I think it's kind of wonderful that a lot of artists now are able to keep working and you know, and their fans are still always going to be their fans and stay with them and not be part of that commercial.
And that's all part of our conversation. So very good
I'm
work.
so glad. Yeah.
That's very good work. So let's get into our conversations for the day, hey? Let's get ready for this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
Okay, well, where to start? Should we start with Vera's favorite guy?
Which one?
Where's Vera's favorite guy?
Vera has a lot of favorite guys. So we've heard.
StreamYard is again deleting things, so it's all right. We'll talk about him anyway. Apparently, the former president, our former president, your former
Cheeto
president,
Mussolini.
not my, yes, the Cheeto, the big cheats, says we're being too tough on him.
Oh, boo!
Too tough.
Oh, that's a great photo.
Too tough on Trump. He's calling double standards.
Those babies are that are living in cages on the border, and then he can cry me a fucking river, bastard.
So yeah, he feels that the whole Mar-a-Lago raid and all that kind of thing is just unfair treatment considering what other people have done. We've had some
Well,
fucking
that's the
we've had
Well,
we
look.
we've had some comments in the on the articles about Hillary and da 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 da, but we get it. But
That's the
you were the
narrative.
president, dude. You were the
That's
president,
the
dude.
narrative. Everybody else
Yeah.
has committed a crime, but I've got caught and I'm being
Yeah.
persecuted for being
Yeah.
the greatest president that ever lived and being so popular, and that's why they're persecuting me. It's like, motherfucker, you're getting caught because you committed the fucking crime. And no matter what you say about Hillary, she didn't win. She was never the president. Hunter Biden, never the president. You were the motherfucking president. Shut your motherfucking criminal mouth.
And it's just like a 5-year-old. It's like when a 5-year-old gets in trouble. Well, he was doing it too. Why should I get in trouble? Oh, he did it. He did it first.
Vera,
Well,
I'm
we
making
had
a
me for
TikTok
pushing.
clip after this. You know that, don't you?
I'm on TikTok now. VERA 1.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have like
Vera's
a little
on
love
TikTok.
heart with Vera and Trump there, and then just cuts to her just going off.
She's hit it. She's hit.
He's like
She's hit the
little kid
TikTok.
who doesn't want to be punished for pushing his brother down the stairs because his brother sat on his bed. You know?
Yeah.
He sat on my
I just-
bed. That's why I had to break both his arms. Fuck you.
Both of his arms. That's pretty graphic.
Push a little kid down the stairs. Jesus.
Oh dear. Well, Jeff, you're usually happy when the Trump is doing something. So
Well, I'm happy because it just brings me so many views on TikTok. Him and Marjorie Taylor Greene are just. I just popped a video up before we went live like an hour ago, and I was just watching those views go up, and I'm just like, "Thank you, you ignorant bitch." You know, I mean, I just can't thank them enough. It's like endless material. But the thing that really bothers me is I just keep looking at Trump in that cheap ass suit, and I'm like, if you have so much money,
Exactly.
what are you
proof that
doing?
he doesn't. Proof that he doesn't have the
Why
money
do you
that he
have
says
look
he
like
does.
you're rocking a diaper and you haven't changed your pants in 6 months and they're shiny?
There's just things I don't understand. And then, I did post a video of like somebody did a thing with like Melania saying like that she's the
Melania.
one, you know, she's the snitch, you
Informant.
know, and she's
Yeah,
like,
like-
but it's a clip of oh God, what's her name? Joan Cusack or whatever.
Cusack, yeah.
She's in the car and she's like laughing hysterically, you know. But she did it. And then I
As
stitched
Debbie.
in afterwards and I was like, go on, get the money and run. I was like, yes, bitch. Go on, girl. I ain't even mad at you. Go get that motherfucking money. Put his ass in jail. Take his money and go on, sister.
That was good. That was
I ain't
good.
mad about it. Go on,
Did
sister.
you see? I saw a news headline that one of the offspring had to fly coach to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh,
It's so horrible.
Oh,
poor baby.
Was
I
one of the
know.
jets not available?
Yeah.
No, Taylor Swift just knocked them all out of the sky.
Yeah.
She's like, I will be the queen of the skies as well as the queen of the music charts. Wah. Look, we've gone from people who are out of touch. These people are out of touch with his fucking idiots.
oh my God.
Oh, God.
Crackers being crackers, yo. Look at
Who
this
are
Jessica
they?
Lange. Look at this Jessica Lange, Sarah Paulson looking bitch.
Right?
A couple, they
Who is
from
she?
around here. And
They are from around your
They're
neck
from
of the
here.
woods.
They're from
Take a
Rochester.
lead, Vera.
they're from Rochester. They're this Republican couple who allegedly were mocking the liberal elite in their use of the Juneteenth. And they threw a Juneteenth party that was so racist and over the top. The Rochester police chief invited a black officer to join him at this party, and the black officer was appalled. Everywhere he looked, he felt like he was the token black and he was going to get lynched. And
They
so he
had, like-
reported.
They had like buckets of fried chicken
fried
decorations,
chicken.
like in their yard as like decorations.
Unreal.
I mean,
It
it
was
doesn't get any
awful.
more.
And, like,
And
blatant.
like
What's on,
bottles
like,
of Hennessy
steak?
and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
There
might
was
as
like
well. Yeah.
pictures of heads on like steaks too, apparently.
Yes,
Like
yes,
Mhm.
yes.
that to me
Yeah.
is just unreal. Like
Yeah.
The
Juneteenth
fuck?
flag was was somehow twisted. I didn't know there was a Juneteenth flag, but they certainly didn't
Flag
post
now?
the picture in the newspaper.
But that's not even the best part of the story. The
What's
best
the
part of the
best
story is the wife, crying that
Woof.
she's not the wolf. She's
Yeah,
a wolf. The wolf. The wolf saying, "I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist." But
Yeah.
But
there is this Twitter
always
account.
a but.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not serious. But I do come off as a real big racist on there, and the stuff's pretty bad. But that's just
Yeah.
for fun. Don't pay attention to that.
I'm just
But-
joking when I say racist comments. No big deal.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
take it
but this
seriously.
is the underlying MAGA message: is that we're not racist, but those people,
Oh, yeah.
those people,
I'm not racist. I get out of the way when the help is mopping the floor.
yeah.
I'm not racist. I hired a whole
I'm not
black staff.
racist. I slept with a black guy once.
Yeah,
You know,
Just once.
well,
a couple times.
that wasn't personally.
Well,
It's
I took that video down.
but of all the things you could be in this modern day, racism just seems so
Why is it so
out.
popular?
It seems so retro.
You know what annoys me though is
And
that
nothing-
I
nothing-
really think that the younger generation, like this is all stuff instilled in people, and I
Yes.
believe like all of our children don't give a crap about it, and they don't even see other people as different to them until they're told that they are. And then it becomes a point of
Walk
difference.
a very careful line there, Luke.
Well, I think part
Don't
of
be
the
a Sutton
issue
Strack about it.
is people are so ignorant to what they're saying and they're so entitled. Like on TikTok, there's this huge thing about the New York Times writer, which we didn't do an article on. What the hell was her name? Lena Wilson or whatever. She's a lesbian. And she did a review for this Netflix show. And it was like, oh, sexualizing women, and there was cleavage everywhere, blah blah blah. So the female that was in it, Amanda, messaged her on Instagram and just said, oh, thanks for the review, whatever, but maybe you could have enjoyed the movie more or whatever if you weren't looking at my tits the whole time. Well, this put her over the edge, and she went on TikTok and was like, this isn't okay. I didn't think homophobia would be coming from within the house. Now, I didn't know at first that this girl that sent her the message, the actress, was also a lesbian. Okay, so I got a real big problem. You're calling a fellow gay a homophobe because they called you out. Now, meanwhile, at the beginning of this, she's talking about Jennifer's Body, which has Megan Fox in it. Her tits are all over that. So what are you really saying? So in one movie, there has a black girl who she's in a tank top and has large breasts. That's sexualizing women, and that movie's not okay, and that's a problem in that movie. But then you're encouraging everybody to go watch Jennifer's Body that has Megan Fox in it with her tits hanging out and the whole thing the whole time. It just speaks to like she's got no fucking clue.
Well,
It
there
is
is
what her
a
point of privilege is.
myopia that bothers me in the younger woke generation. And I am not putting down being woke. I want everybody to wake up. I want everybody to start looking around and seeing we're all just fucking people. But you can't call everything racism or nothing because nothing becomes racism.
Right.
You can't call everything homophobia.
Right.
Because then nothing becomes homophobia.
Yes.
You need to be a little more selective about playing those big cards,
Yeah.
And
right.
yes.
Especially when the people before you, especially with the generations before you actually experienced it. So you have the freedom to go out and have these protests and do it in a relatively peaceful, safe way. That you can go out the house wearing a dress. That you can go out the house holding hands with the person that you love. That you have marriage equality. That you have all this kind of stuff. This is even the generation before us that have done all this hard stuff. And I can only imagine
generation before me, and I'm
how they feel watching some of these very entitled people just kind of piss on a legacy that cost lives and stuff like that. Like,
Well, and they
It's
don't
not
get it. They
cool.
don't care. They're like, "Oh, that was your
No.
problem."
Well,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not trying to harangue the younger generations involved.
I am harangue.
Stay woke, stay fighting, but
I love the
I
word harangue.
question your strategies. You know,
It's like,
Like I
they're
said.
looking for something to be offended by because their lives are a little bit too easy.
well, their lives are a little bit isolated. I mean, come on, we
A little
don't
sheltered.
know how to interact with real people anymore.
I do. You call them all cunts.
One solution.
We're gonna get
Works for
kicked
me.
off Facebook.
Works for me. Always gets a reaction.
That ain't right.
That ain't right. That ain't right, is it?
You just lost us a few viewers then, Steve.
No, but I mean, Vera's absolutely right. I mean, that was kind of the whole big brawl that Katie and I got into, where I stormed off the show.
Pick your battle.
And it was
Right.
about like Bette Midler and her fighting for women's right. And my whole thing was, that wasn't why I stormed off. It was because of what Katie said. She dropped a bomb, or at the time I thought was a bomb, about her sexuality that I thought she was weaponizing to prove a point in the conversation. And it wasn't the case. And I realized I needed to go before I said some crazy shit. I had a bad day.
That day.
But my problem is you're taking Bette Midler, who fought for women's rights, and then you're telling her that,
Not
okay,
even
well,
just
it's
women's
great.
rights.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
fought
telling
for a
woman
lot of people.
who's been marginalized their entire existence that, now we're going to tell you that you're now called a cis woman and you have to be okay with it. You don't get to have feelings about it. We can't have a conversation about it. And if you have feelings about it, you're a TERF.
Right.
And that's the end of it.
Right.
And that's a
Not even that.
problem to
As
me.
if turf wasn't hideously disrespectful.
Right. And my thing is there's no conversation. Right. And I mean, I wasn't saying that very eloquently. And, and I did, after the fact, see a TikTok where there was a FTM on there talking about, I still have a uterus. I've been raped multiple times. I'm being left out of this discussion. And I'm like, okay. All right. You know what I mean? It did kind of wake me up to like, all right, I
This is
guess
the
I
thing. I
see
don't
the problem
think you
differently,
can-
but I don't know what the answer is, because you can't tell a whole group of people who've been marginalized that they don't get a vote in this, that they don't get a say in what they're called and what their plight is now, that you're now telling them who they are and what their life is
What they
about.
get
Like
to
that.
feel. What they get to feel.
And at the end of the day, you have to recognize, especially from that they're looking, especially from a conservative eyes, that you were born with a penis. You decided in their eyes to become a woman. So you're still a man telling a woman what to do. Like that's a lot of the basis of this, right? I'm not saying that's what I think. So don't come at me.
Yeah, making the argument. So great segue, because in Florida, heartland of the sensible and the woke, Medicaid have now, I guess, defunded, or disincluded gender affirming surgery for trans people. Will no longer be covered by Medicaid. Another, Florida is.
Florida.
That's it. That's the end of my sentence.
Yeah.
Florida
I
is.
miss Florida.
The duet I did with Ron DeSantis, and he did a mock-up of Top Gun. How he's not getting sued?
How he's not getting sued? How he's not getting mocked?
He did. Well, he was. The chick was like, "This dude's doing cosplay."
Yeah,
he
is.
Like trying
and
to.
isn't that what all the freaking MAGA nuts with their guns and their body armor are doing? We're gonna turn the war. It's like gravy seals. Put down the fork if you're gonna take over the country.
They all want to be Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's just like, it's not a moment. It's not a moment. And if you are, you got to commit to that mullet.
I don't know. I've always hated a mullet. I like to collect them when I see them, but I'm starting to see some sexy sons of bitches with a mullet.
We'll see stylized
mullets
mullets back in now.
Mullets back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Christina, I feel like you might have had a mullet in your day. Have you met a mullet
Never.
man you've met? Never.
I've never had a mullet. No, this hair
No,
it's,
but
it's
have you?
always been long.
Have you mounted a mullet?
Never in the life.
My hashtag mounted a mullet.
My God, no. Never, never,
No.
never.
I
I
am
don't plan on it
tagging
either.
you.
Oh
Tagging
my
you,
God.
Christina. Hashtag mounted a mullet.
No, never.
We're starting
Never
that
will.
rumor.
Here's a good
Like,
question. Here's a good question for the panel. I've got a good question for the panel. What is a deal breaker in someone else if you're on a first date, and this is being very vain and very shallow, but what's the deal breaker if you see it?
Oh.
If you had to go on a
Herpes.
first, even though you're married, Christina, if you had to go on another first
Herpes.
date, visible herpes. Okay, that's a good start. Good start.
Herpes. That was a deal breaker.
Wait, does it have to be visible?
You have to
Oh,
see
it's
it.
gotta be at
We're
least
being
noticeable.
we're doing it just based on appearance because we're talking about mullets. What's the
right.
other thing? Vera, what about you?
Well, body odor.
Oh yeah.
Body odor.
Height too. I have a thing about height. Don't be fucking smaller than
I
me.
have a story. I don't know how well it's funny. I can say it's funny. When I was in my 30s and I had real bad baby fever, I decided I needed to be a little more aggressive in my dating search, and I was doing online dating, and this guy messaged me who was in a wheelchair, and I was like, oh no, I am already a caregiver. I don't want to take care of a significant other. And then I'm like, oh, Vera, come on, open your heart. This could be the love of your life. Why are you closing that door? Be open to it. So I messaged him back.
Oh my God.
Motherfucker looked at my picture and said, oh, I didn't realize you were fat. Men are visual.
Fucker.
Oh my God!
Fucker.
The guy in a wheelchair.
A guy in a wheelchair told me that he was visual and he couldn't be with me.
Wow.
It's like, I know.
Oh.
All right, Luke. What's the visual boner killer? Deal breaker.
I don't want to say this because there might be someone down the track that could be like that it's okay with, because I like to take people as who they are, and and you work it all out as you go along. But I don't like copious amounts of body hair. It just really is like I just can feel the smells. I can feel them in my waters.
Feel the smells. Okay.
My husband is extremely hairy. Like he's got.
There's just too much hairy. And then I just think about, look, Vera, you're a nurse too. Do you know how when people are really hairy and they're
really
not as
hairy,
easy to
really
clean?
Yes, they're not easy to clean, but there are many people who master cleaning their hair, no matter where.
No, because if they've got lots of hair around their poopy hole and that.
Oh,
Jeffrey, take us away from the poopy hole, Jeff. What's your deal breaker?
Well, I'll tell you that one first date I told it on Guilty Pleasures. That son of a bitch's big toe was bigger than his dick. We gotta go. I can't. That fucker had its own goddamn heartbeat. I can't. Why would you wear flip flops to meet somebody for the first time with a big toe like that? I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't just, you know what I mean? He's sucking on my face. And I just kept looking down at the toe. I mean, it just was so big. It was
What kind of big toe are we talking? How big is a big toe?
It was
was it
double the size.
Fat, or was it long?
It was long.
Extend beyond the other toes? Was it
Can we all show our toes now to compare, or?
It was longer than all the other toes by
sticking out like that.
Yes, it was longer than all the other toes, obnoxiously so. And then it was just fucking huge. It had its own zip code. You could see his heartbeat in it. You know what I'm saying? It was a problem. And I know it's vain to me, right? I'm a fat dude. What do I got to say? But I couldn't get past it. I mean, there was just nothing I could do. And then it was dude, your dick's smaller than your toe. I can't. This ain't gonna work. And I mean, he was perfect on paper, but I just.
Do you know what's funny? I know a couple of people that have the same thing that makes me laugh all the time. You know when
Big
people
toes.
get white
Oh,
Christmas.
fuck.
Oh,
that
no.
makes me nuts.
Oh.
My sister can't. She's like, like she like physically like gets
And speaking
reactions.
of
It's
nursing
hilarious.
smells, you know exactly how that smells when they got the white in their mouth.
Stop. Nope.
I had a
Nope.
teacher, a social studies teacher, that had that. He was Mr. Stivert. I will never forget this old bastard. And anytime we talked,
Named him.
just all the way in the back, just always on the sides, and you would have to sit in the back of the room.
What was it like,
because
thrush?
you didn't want to see it or be near it because, God forbid, and just,
She's still scarred. Look at her.
This is what I feel. I can't. That's why I don't like fucking being touched by people, right? Because you just don't fucking know. I don't like being in public or anywhere where you have to go like and people touch you. It's like I fucking lose my shit. Katrina
Jeffrey,
and
do you
Karen,
know who you wouldn't like?
No, I can't. I don't like it.
Do you know who you wouldn't like?
What?
Gary Busey.
oh,
See, like if he touched me, I'd probably fucking have a stroke. Like he just looks dirty. Like he looks like he's got some kind of skin fungus.
Gary
He looks like
Busey's
he's
in
done way too much
big
drugs.
trouble.
That's what he looks like.
Big
Who did
surprise.
not know that
Rehab.
this man was a creep? Is there
I
anybody
know,
here
right.
who did not know that this man was a creep?
right. What were we expecting at this point? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Is the game called Tickle and Pee? Is that what I heard? He was chasing people around playing a game called Tickle and Pee, where he would tickle them until they had to pee.
That is really fucked up.
That is
That
really
is fucked up.
That's disgusting. That's what it is.
But could you imagine being chased by Gary Busey?
I
Oh,
think
No.
Luke would have
That's a
liked
night-
it.
that's a
No, I
nightmare in
wouldn't.
itself.
You should
Right.
Don't
try
even
it.
try and
Gary's-
implicate me in some filthy things lifestyle.
Gary's sounds like your last
Looks
American
like your
trip.
one ex.
Gary Busey.
What was his name? Stump.
Now,
I'll leave
we
our
have
Stumps
to-
alone. I think he's like moved on to like partner number 6 now.
We're going to talk just briefly
it?
some Australian news. We've had a big announcement the other day that's happened very, very quickly. National icon John Farnham. Now, if you're not Australian, you won't know, but John Farnham is literally the voice of Australia. Has been diagnosed with cancer and went through a 12-hour surgery to remove a mass in his mouth, and then had
Did take
part
his
of his
jaw out.
jaw removed and reconstructed as well. So John, who is friends with Olivia Newton-John, literally, did a duet album and tour and everything with her.
And
so,
they were at the Olympic Games in 2000
Olympic
when
Games
they opened
together,
it.
so-
They performed
Is
together
he
because they were
straight?
our 2 biggest stars.
John Farnham is, yes.
He ain't gonna be
Married.
going down on anybody anytime soon.
No,
Well,
it's a
he
bit of
can't
a,
perform anymore. They were saying either. He's
Yeah.
Well,
not
how
singing
could you?
again.
They took out of your fucking jaw. You're,
Yeah.
you're done. Good night.
It's a very big, significant loss for Australian music, actually, considering like he's a big star here.
I
and
saw
has
John
been
live here in Rockhampton, of all
The
places,
60s.
and there were so many big stars that came that night. But John
And Hayes.
was the one who closed the show, and that voice. Look, I know a lot of you Americans probably never even heard him sing. I think Google him after this since because his voice was just so amazing. Like, I know a lot of people have amazing voices, but when I was standing there live and hearing him sing, I was like, holy shit, like he's so,
You can sing,
so
boy.
good. Yeah,
and just
like,
over the
so
pond,
good.
we did have I'll talk about it because she's from New Zealand, but we had another Australian musician part. We're having a really bad run of
Bad
Australian
week, yeah.
musicians.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
Margaret Earlhich. Now, there was a bit of kerfuffle in the chat about an accidental
Oh, I know.
accidental
That's
misspelling
my
of her
fault.
name.
Wait,
No.
can we
Was
just
Luke's
talk
fault.
about these
The typo. Well,
bitches?
Yeah.
Bitches. Okay? Don't come at this page. Don't message us and be a twat about spelling and then get mad when I cuss you out at 5 a.m., okay? I'm not the fucking one, bitch. And then be like, well, you're awfully angry. Fuck you. You came at me angry, talking about you're upset and fucking pissed off because there was a misspelling and we didn't have respect for a dead bitch. Kiss my ass, Susan. Fuck off, ho.
We are human. Strangely enough, we are human, and sometimes we make mistakes. And you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just copy and paste other people's mistakes too. So if there is something that is inaccurate, please do
It's called
contact us.
plagiarism.
I wrote this myself,
No.
so I will take full blame for this. But yeah, I obviously did make
No,
a
it was
silly
spelled
mistake,
wrong.
a significant one, but I did
wasn't
make it.
spelled wrong out of the whole. It was spelled wrong twice
Just
out of
once.
like 10 spots.
Oh, come
So-
on.
But what
And
I'm
people
saying
were
is,
spelling it wrong all through the article.
what I'm
or
saying
all
is,
in the comments too.
come with kindness and go. Oh, I just noticed this.
Right, and she didn't.
Right.
She was a
That's all you
total
gotta
bitch
do.
about it. So I let her know,
all you
like,
gotta do.
do you feel better about yourself now?
Yeah,
do you,
right.
Like, do you feel better now that you're on your power trip? Like, fuck off.
And you know, I don't want to like make her like this lady's death about like assholes either. Like this is another person I saw live as a child who was just an amazing vocalist. Like there's some people that are just that amazing. They deserve their celebrity. Like that's just, it's not, you know, Paris
What
Hilton
a
releasing a
great-
single.
Was she friends
What
with
a great
MH?
segue. What a great segue. Because after 6 years, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day Britney
That's
Spears has
tomorrow.
returned to the music world with her duet with Elton John. Now, we did have a little listen, and Jeffrey, you enjoyed yourself. I saw you bopping.
Oh, I was.
you
And then it was Elton was, I don't know where the hell they were, but on TikTok, he was singing it live at some disco and people were all taping it. And he's like, you know, he kind of looked like a woman, you know how, like, you know, a little overweight. He looked like he had a fupa.
That's what happens. That's what happens when old men,
he
old
he
gay
looks like
guys,
an
still with
old
the frosted. They
lesbian.
look like lesbians.
Yes, he really does. He
What
looks like
happened?
an old lesbian. And it just tickles me
Ellen.
pink with this little outfit. I'm like, oh, I'll just be so happy if that's my life. I'm fine with
They've
it.
got
You know what I
to like.
mean?
There comes
It
there
gives me
comes a
something to look
time-
forward to.
there comes a time when you've got to let the hair, like the streaks and all that kind of like hair stuff go, because you look a bit tragic. And
Fuck
you
off.
You go from looking like a man to looking like an elderly lesbian. I'm just saying.
Well,
Yeah,
either
exactly,
way,
don't
he was singing it live. He was killing it. He was doing
He's
his
there.
parts, and then he kept going, Britney Spears, ladies and gentlemen. It was to
And
die
yeah,
for.
it's nice
And
to
people-
see him support her as well.
They were
which
going
is-
nuts. People were absolutely fucking going bonkers for the
I
song.
think there's
It
a
was
lot of
great.
lot of goodwill out there for her at the moment, which is nice to see. So
Yeah. Now give
You
us
know,
that
even though
goddamn
she-
"Hit Me One More Time" remix.
yeah, give us some anything. We're ready for new Britney. But is it O'Donnell, Jeff? It's O'Donnell.
Griffin. It's Griffin.
Yeah, we got to talk about Griffin. It's O'Donnell.
It's Griffin.
Kathy Griffin this week took to social media because she could not get her oncologist or surgeon to talk to her about her results for the latest scan she had. She very famously has had a cancer battle recently herself, and had part of her lung removed, etc., and has just been back and had a scan. She is apparently trying for over 2 weeks to get some kind of reaction or interaction with her doctors, and they would not speak to her. So
What?
she put her medical report on social media because she wanted to know if she was okay.
Don't fuck with Kathy Griffin.
Wow.
I fucking Kathy
gotta,
Griffin.
I'm not trying to diminish her struggle, but I gotta ask, why aren't they calling her back?
Well, she's
Not
probably a
because-
bitch.
Yeah.
She's probably a bitch,
Not
but
because-
you've got a duty of care, even if she's a bitch.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
why though? Like, why? You're right.
I was bugging out of my kid's doctor's office, and I put on Facebook. I'm like, I'm looking for a new doctor's office because
Yeah.
I'm sick of people being bitches at the front desk. I don't care if everybody's a bitch to you. Don't be a bitch when I call because I'm gonna be one back. Like
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to you. There's no reason to be rude to me. Like
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? Like we've talked. I set up a thing. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. That's not my fucking fault.
But
Like
I think that there's a
don't-
difference. There's a difference between being a bitch to someone and just not replying. Like, especially
Yeah.
when it's
Well,
something,
if
when
they
it's something
dismissed her
as
from their
important as
practice-
oncology results,
if
I'd
they
want to
dismissed
fucking
her
know,
from the practice. They have to notify her in writing.
right? So you
Right.
can't just go MIA and go, oh, by the way, you've just had a scan. You've been diagnosed with cancer. You've been through the treatment. You've gone for your checkup.
I just wonder if
Sure.
there's a piece missing.
It's like, and
I'm sure.
Yeah, it sort of
And
doesn't add up, does it?
I'm
No.
not defending doctors because I know lots of doctors who are pricks, but it feels like there's a piece missing.
I'm sure there is, but good on her for, I guess, taking control and going, well, if you're not going to give me the answers, I'm going to try and find it somewhere. I guess it's like
I
WebMD.
wish her
So
all
wait,
the
how did
crazy.
she receive her own medical report without her doctor discussing it with her?
Right.
So no,
I'm probably a nurse.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
Well, we don't give people their results.
Oh, let
You
me tell
can't
you
give
what.
that result
I
without
have
belief.
gotten more results from my nurses sliding that shit to me when they shouldn't have.
If it's
Because I
negative,
couldn't get
yes.
it from the
If there's
doctors.
like, you don't need to see the doctor, that's cool. But I don't think anyone notifies someone of like, oh, by the way, you've got cancer.
Right.
I
Like,
had a
I don't. No
receptionist call
nurses.
me to tell me I have mono because nobody would. On a Saturday.
Mono's a
Slightly
little different
different.
than cancer.
Slightly different.
I understand it's not cancer, but again, like calling me on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That's the
Cancer
one
for your
I hung up
social life,
on.
but whatever. You know.
Like,
Weird
fuck
and
off.
Why'd you
wonderful
hang up on
news is-
her? Why?
Because she told me I had
Because you have
mono. It's a
mono.
fucking high school disease. Like, tell me I have an adult disease. Like, tell me I got herpes or something. What the fuck?
Herpes versus mono. I'd take the mono any day of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
It's
who wants
so
facial
bad.
scabs? But look, speaking of childhood diseases, let's talk about a childhood dream. And again, around your areas, guys, Vera / Jeff / Katie. Lou Ferrigno's a police officer. The Incredible Hulk is a police officer. I think that is
Over any day.
fucking amazing. I like Katie's like, I'm not doing an article on that. I'm like, you
He
fucking have
apparently
to,
was a
because
police
that
officer
is
before he started acting.
hilarious. I know,
Right?
but it's like
Is the
Steven
guy
Seagal
swearing
thing.
him back in again? Is he like really tiny, or is that guy just way
No,
massive?
Lou Ferrigno's a fucking
Lou
giant
Ferrigno's
still.
huge.
I was gonna say they
Okay.
probably did that on purpose though. I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Look
They
at
should
him.
have put like a little guy next to him, and it would have been
Yeah.
even more amazing.
No, Luke, he's like I've seen him. Like I've met him at conventions with Karen. He's a big fucking dude.
But let's talk about it. He's an older dude, and he's still fucking tight like a drum. Look at him.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Hulk
So,
That's
smash.
Vera,
exactly-
are you going to be trying to get pulled over out there?
he can pull me over any day of the week.
Vera
gonna come
Ferrigno
visit in
has a good
October?
ring to it.
It's right by our house. We'll go be like, yo, Lou.
He's gonna be done with his movie and left Syracuse by then.
Vera's gonna
Christine is ready
"No."
to have a little green baby, though.
Vera's like, don't make him
Little
angry.
baby
I
Yoda.
don't like him when he's angry. Oh, I don't like him when he's angry. Jeffrey, I did this one for you because I thought you would care the most. Ally McBeal's coming back? Question mark.
Oh, fuck that article. I don't even give a fuck.
The little
You don't
tiny
care?
baby.
It's about her daughter. It's not them.
Renee's
I don't care.
daughter.
Yeah,
Renee,
fuck
but Callista Flockhart is going to be in it. She
Really?
has agreed. Yeah.
Oh, good old
She has
Callista.
Unless
You
She's
like
good for a
Ally
guy.
McBeal.
I do, but give me the original. Actually, I only really
They're
realized
coming back. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying
not
to get
all
the
of them.
rest of the original
I don't
cast
want
back.
the daughter. I'm so sick of that shit. Give me the original cast. Just pretend time has
No
not.
Pretend
time.
nothing's
Yes,
happened. They're all
exactly.
70. Hello.
Like, do what Will and Grace did. Forget the ending and let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
just have Karen make a joke. That's
Right.
stupid.
Like,
Why
let's
would that
just
ever
pick
happen?
Melrose Place right back up at, like, they're all still living in that shitty ass apartment in their 60s. I'm fine with it.
No, they go back. No, see what happens is they go back and everything after the bomb went off is someone's like coma dream. And they wake up and like, Billy. How good was that? That was one of the best moments of TV I've ever fucking seen. That bomb going
What?
off.
Oh, yeah.
Pookie's wait! It isn't what it looks like.
It's
worse.
Oh.
End of episode. What the fuck?
Oh, Steve, you weren't that shocked. We had that in a lot of Australian
Tuesday night.
soaps.
Tuesday night.
E Street did that too. It's like, oh, that was a really nice baby shower. I'm so glad we're like new parents and that we've done all of this. Bang, car bomb. Like this is the kind of shit we grew up with.
Sopranos. Sopranos.
Hey,
We're new
fucking
parents.
hell.
We're starting a whole new life.
I
This is
didn't
so
wa- I've
wonderful,
never-
car bomb.
I gotta watch that. I know. My grandparents, they'd be like, big pussy. They'd all be fighting around the dinner table on Sundays. They'd be like, did you see what Big Pussy did on The Sopranos? I'm like,
Don't talk about your grandmother that way.
No, I watched the
fucking
new
God.
movie though, and I
Fuck
thought
the
that was.
movie. Are you fucking kidding me? There's nothing. No. Fuck the movie. Fuck the movie. No.
Jeff's family
That
was
movie
The
was fucking
Sopranos.
awful. It
I
was
lived it.
stupid.
I fucking lived The
Jeff's
Sopranos.
family
Oh my
was
God.
The Sopranos.
Christina's not
No.
about the movie. Don't ask her.
No. The movie was so
Like,
stupid.
fuck
You
that
gotta watch
movie.
the show. You gotta watch. I've seen it
We
as
do-
a series at least 8 times. At least.
We do have
Like-
more must-see TV news, by the way, for mine and Jeffrey's favorite show. Yellow Jackets can't get any better. Oh, wait. Yes, we can. We're going to add Elijah Wood to the cast now
Frodo
as well.
Baggins.
Fuck off! Why is this
Oh.
show so good?
Jeff,
Elijah's
how
a
many
little-
quarters do you reckon Elijah's got?
Elijah's a little bit hot, too.
4.
Elijah's a little bit hot. It is old
He's
age.
the
All right.
fucking hobbit. He's not working with much.
Woo, boy. Jeffrey, be nice.
I
Because
am.
you know,
Jeffrey.
do you know what will happen to you? You're going to get banned from this club because there is a club here in Australia that has now decided that staring is a form of harassment and you will be removed unless you get verbal consent from the person beforehand.
This is ridiculous.
How can you monitor this? How?
What
Oh,
if I do
there's-
what some
no,
Because
guys
you're going to
do?
have
someone goes-
idiots
there's-
going, oh,
wait,
someone
wait,
stalked me,
wait,
and they'll get
wait.
thrown out. It's going to be a joke.
Wait, this is how they're going to monitor it. There is a comfort officer in the club/pub wandering around in a bright
And how long is it going to
White
be before
pink-
the
bright
comfort
pink
officer
high
gets
vis
creepy?
vest to make sure everyone is comfortable.
And what constitutes staring? Is there
How
like a
about
5
just stay
second,
home? If you
8
don't like someone
seconds?
looking at you, don't go out in public.
10
Exactly.
seconds? Well, I mean, that's like the gay mating call. Like you go to
I'm
a
gonna
club,
wear
and if
sunglasses.
you want them to meet you in the
And no one
bathroom,
will
you do the.
I'm sorry, the
But
very
not even
rare
that.
time that someone actually like intensely staring at you to the point that you're aware of it and that you actually have to approach someone who works there and be like, hey, this is happening,
Right.
is so minuscule that this does
Right.
not need to be
Who's
Okay.
getting eye fucked that hard? No.
No, because
Right.
if they're doing that, that means you're gonna go fuck in the bathroom. Hello.
If somebody's staring at you and you don't like it,
Look away.
What are you staring at, Stabby?
Yeah.
Gen Z. It's Gen Z. They're sensitive.
Yeah. They're a little
I
pussy.
don't know about you, but I don't mind a little bit of an eye contact awkward moment. You're like, oh, hello.
oh,
I'm
you
like,
want to
"You
come
like
up
what
to
you
my
see?
room?
Take a fucking picture. Oh my God, you guys, it just reminded me. So I did this TikTok where there was like this little tiny elevator in Paris. I was like, yo, somebody's going to have to call somebody
I
to get
saw
my
that.
fat ass out of there. Somebody commented like, oh, we'll have to just cover you in lard to get your fat ass out of there or whatever. I was like, oh my God, I finally got trolled. I was so excited.
Jeffrey.
I was like, I did the fucking laughing face. I never heard from him again. I was so upset.
Oh, he was
They
done with
fucked you
you,
and
so he's
left
not
ya.
going to get
One
done
and
for
done.
staring.
You gotta make one of those reply videos.
Was
That's
he
what you gotta
French?
do.
I don't know, but I was so excited to finally get trolled because I'm like, somebody's got to come in. Finally, and nothing. Fucking bastard just got me.
I
Awesome.
asked, how do you get a wheelchair in there? Isn't that the reason to put an elevator in your building? Is to make it accessible?
I think it's for luggage.
Who knows? It's so
Oh.
awkward. It's the smallest elevator I've ever seen
Well,
in
did
my
you
life.
see that lady got in there and she was like a sardine in a tin can? It was embarrassing.
No, thank
I don't
you.
need to watch it.
All right, we are
Oh.
rapidly approaching Halloween. We are approaching the spooky season, and the reason I bring this up is for 2 reasons. Because September, Amazon Prime are getting in there early, and we have a vested interest in one of these because
Oh.
former guest and friend of the show, Mr. Grady Hendricks, his book, My Best Friend's Exorcism, has been made into a movie and will be premiering on Prime Video on September 30th. Along with Run Sweetheart 1, which we talked about on Uncensored Horror, and the American remake of Goodnight Mummy starring Naomi Watts. So
Hey, good on
Amazon
Grady,
Prime,
and good on us, Steve, that we got Grady before he got super commercially famous doing movies.
He has more movies coming out. He has a brand new book next year as well. But the biggest thing we're talking about, because we're going to be there to see it, and Vera's really, really upset about
Oh, my aching ass.
it. Jamie Lee Curtis has announced this week that Halloween Ends will premiere in cinemas and on Peacock Plus the same day. So if you don't want to go to the cinemas and be antisocial, you don't have to miss
Can
out.
I just say, are we still doing the cinema, please?
I'm going.
They
I'm going to the
must
cinema.
be giving her some huge ass check.
Pays the fit. Oh, she has a back end deal. She has a huge back end deal.
But the back end deal gets shrunk so hard when they release it on both. Like that, the last one didn't
She's
do
got
shit.
something going on.
No, they must
She's
have
got
gave her a
something
huge ass bonus.
Oh yeah.
But
to be able to
the
release
video message was actually really quite nice. She's a very good actress, but she got a little bit emotional and said, "Thank you for the support of the character and myself for the last 40 years. It's because this is the last time," she says. This is officially it. She's done. So we're going. We're going,
Heard that
Vera.
before.
Oh, V,
Vera
come
hates
on, do
horror
it for
movies,
Jamie Lee.
Christina.
Do it for Jamie Lee. Do
I
it for
love it.
Norma.
We're going to.
No, Janet.
We're going to. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have
I want
to.
to go to the
We'll have to do the
previews.
original first. We'll have to like do a little couple
Yeah,
of
do a
nights
marathon.
beforehand. Yeah, we'll do the new ones and the original.
You're gonna make me watch all the fucking movies?
Yeah, baby, you got to go through the journey with us. Vera.
Except for Resurrection. We're not doing Resurrection.
No, we're not. No, we're just gonna watch the new
We're
one.
just going to do the original and then the
78
last
and then
two.
the new one.
What
Yeah.
movie was it that they said that there was no blood in the movie at all? I think it was Halloween. Was it? That there was no blood
first
in the
Halloween?
first or second.
No blood
I don't
was
think
the
there was
point.
blood in the first one.
Yeah.
There's no like bloodshot. There's like where she gets like cut. There's like blood, but not gratuitous blood.
Right.
There's like
Yeah.
even when he gets hung on the door. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of like the first horror movies with like
Filmmaking.
no blood in it. It was like crazy.
Filmmaking.
It was a suspense
Alright.
film.
Good movie
I'm
though.
all warmed up.
You can't be that
I'm all warmed
terrified.
up about it. Vera, are
You
you
gotta come to
feeling
Auburn.
I'm gonna
kind
be
of
scared.
heated? But are you kind of heated up though, V?
Oh, gotcha.
Oh God, yes. That's good because we are reaching the point of the show where it's time for Vera to vent. Okay, Miss V, here we go. 3, 2, 1, vent.
I'm gonna start this with my story. I was a really smart kid from a very poor family. And I was told by my guidance counselors that I needed to go to college, even though there was no college fund, there was no money for college. And I got full scholarships to several colleges. And I chose SU, very close to home, and met a guy and lost my scholarship because I stopped going to class. So I had to finish my degree and I took out loans. I graduated from college in 1988 with close to $50,000 in student debt. My first job was earning $14,000 a year before taxes. These student loans crippled my life. I could not buy a house. I could not take a vacation. I couldn't afford an apartment. I spent 22 years paying off these student loans, and I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. The student loans have become so predatory. You can buy a car with a better interest rate than you can go to college. And everybody's running around saying, oh my God, Biden forgave student loans. Well, no, he didn't. He came up with a plan to forgive some of it, but none of that would just be a drop in the bucket to the student loans I had in 1988. And it's based on income, and higher earners don't get the forgiveness. And what are you going to accomplish with these student loan forgiveness? Well, one, you've got an entire generation of college grads who can't afford to have children, can't afford to buy houses, can barely afford to buy cars. These children, these kids, these young adults, these people deserve a chance to create a life. Maybe they made mistakes. Maybe education is its own end. Maybe if you're educated, you can't be led around by the nose by an orange-haired buffoon telling you, I'm the greatest and I've just fixed your life, even while he's robbing you blind. Okay? Education is important. We need to establish that. And even if it doesn't find you that magic career, education is important. But what happens to these people when they have this debt forgiven? They can start spending again. They can start having life experiences. They can go to a restaurant. They can contribute to the economy. The economic indicators that indicate a strong economy are employment and saving and purchasing power. If we forgive this student debt, saving and purchase power goes up, and other economic indicators follow. Okay? It gives the freedom to invest. We have generations of people who are so crippled by student debt, they cannot invest. They cannot afford to have a retirement plan. In the richest country in the world, we have people who will work till they die. Okay? This needed to happen when they privatized all of the federal loans and let them jack the interest rate up to 11%. 11%. You would have better rate from a loan shark. So it's going to improve the quality of their life. It's going to improve the diversity of the people who are able to go to college. It's going to create growth in real income. These are the benefits to this loan forgiveness. Now, am I bitter because I had to pay off those loans and now these kids are going to get forgiven? No, because I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. You can't say, well, my dad died of cancer, so stop bothering to cure cancer because now that my dad's dead, I don't care. Are you really that selfish that you want someone to suffer because you suffered? Or haven't your experiences taught you any empathy? And again, the cries that I hear are like, why should I pay for your bad choices? Hello, because you need educated doctors. You need educated police officers. You need educated teachers. Your quality of life is going to go up the more professional and the more educated the people around you are. You don't want a person who just got to college because daddy had money to build your house if he's not the best engineer around, because your house is going to freaking fall down, especially when the other climate scientists have forgotten to stop climate change and your house floods. But I'm getting off the topic. I'm sorry. But my favorite of the bastards that are opposing the Biden climate change or student loan forgiveness are the Republicans. Oh, those fabulous Republicans who are running around beating their chest over all the socialism going on in this country. Stephen, would you put up that little graphic we have earlier? This is a list of Republicans who took money from the payroll protection plan during COVID. And you can see that these are a high sum. There's some with 2.8 million, some with 4 million. These people took these loans, and every single one of them voted to forgive their own debt. Oh, we can't forgive $10,000 for Joe Average, but we can forgive 3.1 million for John Senator. Let me just run through a few of these beautiful people. Vernon Buchanan from California got 2.8 million. He says that student loan forgiveness is unfair to 87% who played by the rules, even though he forgave himself $2.8 million. All right. Mark Wayne Mullen, if that isn't a gay name, what is? Mark Wayne Mullen got $988,000 in PPP money. And he's now accusing the Republicans of forgiving student debt to buy votes. It didn't matter that they all voted for tax cuts that would expire after the midterms, right before the midterms 2 years ago or 4 years ago. That's not true. That's not buying votes. We're going to give them $700. And then when they already voted us back into office, we're going to take that $700 away. Fuck you, Mark Wayne Mullen. How about Roger Williams from Texas? $1.43 million for his car dealership. And he says that we're forcing the taxpayers to pay off student debt. How about we're forcing the taxpayers to pay off your fucking car dealership, asshole? And then we've got everybody's favorite girl, Marjorie Trader Green. She says it's really unfair for the government to say your debts are forgiven. It's completely unfair to everyone. But she's into the government for $180,000 that she has no intention of paying back for her father's construction company. And Kevin Hearn, he says this only benefits the highly educated and penalizes the middle class, even though there's a high earner exception. If you earn more than $125,000, you are ineligible for that. And guess what? In today's environment, in today's economy, $125,000 isn't that much. That's solidly middle class, you know? So I think that needs to go up a little bit, but they didn't ask me. And then everybody's favorite pedophile, Matt Gaetz, he's in for, I can't remember his number, but he didn't actually attack the loan forgiveness. He went off on all the money we're spending in the Ukraine, in spite of the fact that supporting Ukraine has an 80% approval rating among Americans in both parties. So let's remember these hypocritical assholes and how they fought against a program that really isn't doing that much. That's just a drop in the bucket. It's an aspirin on a headache. You know, let's remember come November that these fuckers forgave their own debt, but they want to cripple you for life.
Oh, I've muted everyone. Hold on. They can't speak.
Girl, you know what my favorite part of all
Okay.
this was today? On Twitter, the White House was trolling all these bitches.
Yes.
The White House was like, "Oh, really? You want to play this game?" The White House retweeted all of these Republican senators and Congress people with whatever they were bitching about, their tweets of like, "This is unfair," and then put all their loan information and how much was forgiven.
Wow.
I was like, yo.
In the end, it comes down to it. If you're an asshole, you get got, and that's what the theme of this week's What the Fuck Weekly is. What the? Now, we know here at Uncensored Radio, we don't like to work hard. We don't like to work hard in the heat. Do you know who else doesn't like to work hard in the heat? Elephants.
Oh, man.
And you know what happens if you overwork an elephant and they feel some kind of way?
Get fucked.
They stab you with your tusks and rip you in half.
Fucking crazy.
But you know what? This is not our first elephant killing someone they were not happy with story. Because remember the lady that he came back and smashed her and then come back to her funeral and fucked her up again at her own service.
It threw a body in the air like it was confetti.
I wonder if it was the same elephant.
We're all worried about like AI and Planet of the Apes and stuff. I think we're looking in the wrong direction.
I think we should stop pissing off elephants and maybe just leave them alone.
Yeah,
right?
Just let them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a problem with us until we make it a problem. So
Yeah.
Right,
It's
like-
time to rip you in half.
But like
How
a fucking
cool.
elephant is a fucking camel or like a donkey. Like, what the fuck is it doing? Like,
Well, just
moving
get a
grass.
truck.
Like,
Get a
yeah,
truck.
like you lazy fuck.
Right,
Like,
bitch.
do something. Like, you're such a that pisses me off. Poor fucking
How
And apparently,
elephant. Like,
this is
are
this
they
is not
being?
something. These are not unrelated incidents. In India, there's been 600 deaths a year attributed
Wow.
to elephants.
Again, how cruel do they have to be to these elephants? That these elephants
I
have
know.
had
Right.
enough that they're like, "Fuck you, you're done."
yeah, like
it's
their
proof that
anxiety level
I'm
gets
big,
so high.
you're
Game
little.
over, bitch.
an elephant never forgets. Literally, and we
I
will
don't
never
feel
forget
bad.
to keep bringing you the good stuff. As we said, next week we have the interview with Mr. Theo Tams coming up on the Tuesday show, Wednesday here in Australia. We have Dana back in session on the Mondays. We have Howie. Oh no, we have.
Guilty
Do
pleasures.
we have a guilty pleasure? I was a guest this week. It was
I
got
don't
very.
know.
You were a
Guilty.
guest again this week.
Oh, I'm so busy. I'm
Oh.
multitasking across all of these shows, and we'll be
What
back
a
next week
slut.
again with you see our live. Thank you, Christina, Vera, Luke, Jeffrey.
Thank
I've been
you.
Steve. Until next week, for the love of God, stay away from elephants. Goodbye.
Except for herpes.
Jeffrey
Luke has crabs.
Jeffrey's got pancreatitis.
I'm okay with that.
Pancreatitis.
And I've got a heavy flow and a wide sense of China.